Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Azam Khan. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Hong Kong police charge a mainland mother for ill-treating and neglecting her child. Financial Secretary expects slower GDP growth in the second quarter. And drone strikes in Moscow damaged 2 office blocks. Police have charged a 37-year-old mother for child neglect after she abandoned her son in Hong Kong and fled to the mainland. The woman will appear in the Kowloon Magistrates Courts tomorrow. She was arrested at West Kowloon Station after she returned to Hong Kong last night. On July 21st, the mother left her son at Kwong Wah Hospital, instructing him to tell the nurses that he was abandoned. She did so, believing that her son could receive a better education in Hong Kong. The 12-year-old is currently living at Tuen Mun Children and Juvenile Home. Financial Secretary Paul Chan expects economic growth to be slower in the second quarter as weak exports and a declining property market take toll. A change in consumption habit of residents and tourists is also a contributing factor. Chloe Fong reports.
Writing on his weekly blog, Finance Chief Paul Chan said Hong Kong's economy has been improving, with local consumption and inbound tourism being the main drivers for the recovery this year. Retail sales in April and May are expected to see a 70% annual increase, following a 24% jump in the first quarter. The latest figures indicate a 85% recovery in retail sales to pre-pandemic levels. Sales in the catering sector are also expected to register significant growth, maintaining a monthly average of $9 billion. However, other key growth drivers such as exports and fixed asset investments have failed to deliver. A weak global demand and high interest rates have affected both sectors. Exports in the second quarter have seen another contraction of 13% year-on-year, following the 18% plunge in the first quarter. Average monthly transactions in the residential property market decreased by 13% for the April to June period. Capital markets also underperformed, as the daily turnover of the stock exchange in the second quarter was down by about 20% compared with the first quarter. One day before the government is set to release the data tomorrow, Chan expects the city's second quarter gross domestic product to grow at a slower pace. He added that residents had reduced their nighttime outings, while mainland tourists in the city were more interested in the local culture instead of shopping. Chan has asked residents and industry leaders to come up with ideas to boost local spending. Chloe Fong, HKIBC.
Secretary for Development Bernadette Lin said authorities will issue warning letters to those who fail to comply with building inspection orders. Her remarks came as another piece of concrete measuring 50 cm by 30 cm fell off from a building onto Nathan Road in Mong Kok yesterday. Lin said letters will be issued to 2,700 building owners who failed to comply with the mandatory inspection order. While roughly 1,800 building owners have completed the first step of appointing inspectors, they could still face prosecution if they do not conduct necessary repair works by the end of this year. Lin said about 900 of the building owners did not appoint any inspectors at all. About 1,000 buildings are in need of urgent repairs, she added. The government will bear the expenses before charging the owners. Local community organizations have urged authorities to provide heat relief subsidies, as residents living in subdivided flats could see indoor temperatures hitting 35 degrees. Highlighting the hardships of a subdivided flat community in Kwai Chung, the organization surveyed the indoor temperatures of 20 subdivided units, including those on rooftops, over the past 3 weeks. The average temperature was 35 degrees Celsius, while some units hit 39.3 degrees. They added that some residents go to nearby shopping malls during the day to escape from the heat to save air conditioning costs. It urged the government to provide subsidies via the Community Care Fund. The city's first electric double-decker bus commenced service this morning. The Kowloon Motor Bus Company, which has been operating single-decker EVs, plans to introduce the big version on many of its routes later this year. Chloe Wong reports.
Excited travelers queued up at the on-Thai bus terminus in Kwun Tong this morning to be the first ones to take the inaugural ride on KMB's electric double-decker. The service commenced at 11 a.m. This boy was well prepared and equipped for the ride. These two friends said they would be delighted as long as they could get a seat on the bus. A ride on the 213M between On-Thai Estate and Lam Tin Station costs $4.80. Single-decker electric buses operate the route initially, but the double-decker went into service today. Due to the large amount of enthusiastic travelers, the company had to arrange one more bus. KMB issued certificates to those who made it on the inaugural trip. This passenger said he loved the electric model, saying that it's quiet and comfortable. Another person who came all the way from the mainland at 6 in the morning said single-deckers are common, but it's rare to see an electric double-decker. The bus driver said in terms of performance, there's not much differences between an electric or conventional vehicle. But he added that the battery model is more comfortable and quieter. With a capacity of 115 passengers, the bus can cover a distance of 300 kilometers after 2 hours of charging. KMB spent $200 million to buy 52 double-deckers manufactured by Samjin-based BYD company. The electric double-decker will be introduced on more routes later this year. But some KMB passengers had an unpleasant ride after smoke filled the cabin of their bus this afternoon at the Tuen Mun bus interchange. Everyone managed to evacuate and no injuries were reported. Chloe Wong, HKIBC.
Police and the Consumer Council received reports after a tutorial chain announced an unexpected closure of all its centers. Some parents said they had recently enrolled their children at Brilliant Education after a center offered discounts. Chloe Wong again.
Some frantic parents went to the Hall-Mun-Tin branch of Brilliant Education to get an explanation after the sudden closure announcement. The center offered tutorial classes for kindergarten, primary, secondary, and DSE students. With one branch in Hall-Mun-Tin, which was not registered with the Education Bureau, the tutorial chain had 4 other centers on Hong Kong Island, including Cornhill, Shau Kei Wan, Chai Wan, and Siu Chai Wan. A notice posted outside all 5 branches said a historical mission had been fulfilled, and all centers would be shut down from Saturday. I-Level, another tutorial center, has terminated all their collaborations with Brilliant Education. Parents who shared their losses on a WhatsApp group chat claimed that they had lost up to $50,000 because of the closure. One mother said Brilliant Education contacted her just 2 weeks ago, saying that they could offer a discount if she paid the tuition fee in advance. She paid for half-year's lessons, but her child could not attend any classes. Some parents complained that starting from July 19th, classes at some centers were cancelled, claiming that they were undergoing renovation. Tutors who worked at the center said they had salary arrears, ranging from a few thousand to nearly $74,000. The tutorial firm will return study materials, metals, and certificates to students. Chloe Wong, HKIBC.
A 25-year-old driver was arrested after he crashed his car into a roadside barrier. The incident occurred early this morning on Tolo Highway as the vehicle was heading towards Taipo when the driver lost control near Providence Bay. Police seized drug inhaling apparatus and 15 grams of suspected ice from the car. The injured driver was sent to hospital. He was later arrested for dangerous driving and possession of drugs. Firefighters rescued 3 people after their car rolled down a hillside near Phai Ngo Shan. The car was traveling on Phai Wan Road and lost control near Flamingo Garden, trying to dodge a dog. The vehicle then rolled 15 meters downhill and got stuck after hitting a tree. Firefighter had to abseil down and rescue the trio. The police are investigating the cause of the accident. The 39-year-old man and 2 female passengers, aged 16 and 26, were taken to Queen Elizabeth Hospital in conscious state. Over to the war in Ukraine. Drone strikes in Moscow damaged 2 office blocks, temporarily shutting down the airport in the Russian capital. The attack comes as fierce fighting continues in Ukraine's bid to retake territory from Russia. Chloe Fong reports.
Some residents captured the moment when one of the drones crashed into an office building in Moscow this morning, causing a massive explosion, prompting the city's airport to be temporarily shut. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin said 2 office blocks were slightly damaged. In a statement, the Russian Defense Ministry said one of the 3 drones targeting Moscow was shot down, while 2 crashed into city's business district after being jammed. The strike was the latest in a series of recent drone assaults, which the Kremlin has blamed on Kyiv. A day earlier, Ukraine's national police blamed Russia for a rocket attack on its northeastern city of Sumy. The missile hit an educational institution, killing 2 and injuring 20 others. On the same day, Zaporizhia also reported a Russian missile strike that killed 2 people. The attacks came as fierce fighting continues in Ukraine's bid to retake territory from Russia. Yesterday, President Volodymyr Zelensky visited territory held by Ukraine near Bakhmut, praising officers for their truly heroic performance. Russian forces seized Bakhmut in May. Chloe Feng, HKIBC.
Protesters clashed with police in Peru as President Dina Boluarte seeks to expand legislative powers. They were trying to reach an Independence Day parade that was headed by the Latin American leader.
Peru held a military parade to cap Independence Day celebrations in the capital Lima, presided by President Dina Boluarte. The leader of the Latin American nation wants to expand her legislative powers to tackle national issues. But less than a kilometer away, protesters clashed with police as they tried to reach the parade site. Police responded with tear gas, and demonstrators were seen hurling objects. A group of demonstrators dressed in black carried photographs of some victims who were killed in anti-government clashes, which first erupted earlier this year. Thousands have taken to the streets after Boluarte took office, demanding her to step down amid calls for fresh polls. The next elections are scheduled for 2026. Former President Pedro Castillo was impeached and later arrested for trying to dissolve Congress. Boluarte, then vice president, succeeded leftist Castillo.
On to the weather now. The sizzling heat continues tomorrow with a few showers for relief. Temperatures will range between 27 and 33 degrees. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Sunday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Azam Khan. Thanks for watching. Good night.